Hello everybody and welcome once again to Casual Cactus and our D&D stream. I am your host, the host with the most, the DM. I'm normally on this side of the screen. I am Keith.
It's reverse Keith.
Keith. It is reversed, just a little bit, guys. But I'm normally the one here behind the screen, pulling the strings and warping the reality for the players. But as our regulars might know, we've had a recent addition to the party. Stephen and Nat have welcomed their beautiful little girl into existence, and so we're giving them some much-needed time off. In the meantime, in order to keep content coming, I am graciously turning over the DM spot to some of my players. Last week we had Braden running one of his Bounty Society episodes. We had a lot of fun with that and looking forward to where that story goes. Tonight, I'm actually going to turn things over to the lovely, the wonderful, my beautiful wife, Danny, who is going to be running a game that she's been running on the side as a text adventure for most of us. There's been a couple of live ones.
Really, there's only been one of the text ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought there were more than that.
Always been live.
Keith
Okay.
never pays attention.
So I'm going to leave the setup to her to explain sort of what's going on in that particular world. But before that, we do have a couple of announcements, reminders for you guys. Just a reminder that our YouTube channel. No. Sorry, Stormy. Sorry. This is what you've got. Sorry. I hope I don't get a knock on that. So YouTube channel is available for you guys to go and take a look at everything that we've streamed here on the channel. All the way back to the beginning of the main adventure, which is our Glassbreakers Guild, which we'll get back to in a couple of weeks. We've also got all of the one-shots, multi-shots. I guess yours is at least a 3-shot now, Braden.
Yeah,
so,
something like that.
Something like
It's
that.
slowly becoming a full-fledged campaign.
It
So
slowly
all of
is.
that is there, plus episodes of what we call Cover Your Assets, which we're going to circle back around to at some point. And pick that up as well. What you will not find is what I've been promising, so I'm not promising it anymore, which is recaps. One of these days I'm just going to surprise you guys with that.
But
that'll
Keith,
be...
it's been a month of not doing DMing yourself. Wouldn't you find the time?
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Just no.
Ouch.
That wasn't even a warning shot.
No, not even a warning shot. Just like right... Anyway.
I go for the killing blows.
Yes, he
Anyway.
does.
Can't fire back if you're dead.
So all the content from the channel found on the YouTube channel should be coming up here in the chat for you guys. So check that out. Subscribe if you want to. We're not monetizing that side of things, so it's just a matter of you can get reminders when things pop up, in case you're not able to be here and actually see the live stream. Typically try and post those on Sunday. I've not been great at keeping that schedule either because I'm a complete and total loser. We do also have our...
Total loser. I'm kind of fond of you.
Okay.
Total, just tiny bit.
We
tolerate.
also have our Discord channel that we're running. Good way to keep up with updates and announcements from all of the various and sundry streamers here associated with this channel. Kyrie, who's not here, does creative streaming. Danny, who you're going to see in just a minute, does creative streaming. Nova occasionally does some retro gaming, and Braden himself has done some streaming. So they're all part of the Discord. You can keep up with what's going on with those guys there. There's a section down at the bottom for in-play, in-character interactions, any character from any system. We thought it was kind of cool. Thought you'd have a kick out of that. I think that's all the announcements I have. I'm about to turn things over now to the lovely Danny.
Yay!
And now,
Go Scritchy!
go Scritchy!
Yeah, go.
Go, Scritchy Ranger. Okay. All right. Hello, lovely people. Ugh. Okay. Yes. Hello, couch. So we have an Intrepid insurance game tonight. So the whole purpose of this was to just have a good lark, a rollicking time, just generally funsies when we had the available time. So that's kind of how this started. It's West March's style is not completely accurate, but similar formatting in that each independent session can be its own thing and they can be connected. The whole concept here is that somebody kind of has to handle all of the other stuff. The things that get more or less passed by from the actual noteworthy adventurers, or the mess that gets left behind after the noteworthy adventurers go in and completely destroy a town or something like that while they are solving the problem at hand. So this is an adventurer's insurance company who insures a lot of different things. Sometimes they do property insurance. We've had taverns insured. We've had entire towns insured. We've had adventurers insured that have search and recovery insurance in case they go missing. Various things to that effect. So there are a multitude of different things that this insurance company covers. And these are our agents today. 3 of them are old school agents. One of them apparently lied on his application and managed to sneak into the ranks as though he had experience.
I did? Wait, are you actually like a level 1?
No.
Oh, because that would be fantastic.
He's a
I
level
hope I'm
5,
not
but he
level.
probably doesn't know what he's doing, which is even better.
Okay.
Player Braden knows what he's doing.
Sure.
Ish.
Or player Brazen's really good at pretending to know what he's doing.
Yeah. Don't give away my secrets.
He's also going to be testing a class that he's created.
I am testing the Magister class that I've been working on. It basically uses mainly just using magic items as your only way of playing. So we're testing it out today to see how well it does. So yeah, this is going to be interesting because I have no idea how this is going to work.
If it works well, we'll make sure that we get the details for you guys and post a link in the Discord channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. So we can make that a thing. Okay, so would you guys like to describe your characters before we start this rollicking good time?
Sure.
All right, so I suppose I'll go first. My character is named Jonathan Goldpiece. He is a tabaxi, which means he's a cat person.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, I know, right? He is a white tiger stripe. He's a white tiger with jet black eyes.
That's mildly concerning.
Looks a little creepy. Might look a little evil. Whether his actual alignment is evil or not, I'll let him handle that.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
My name's Virgil. Virgil T.S. I'm a Magister, and I'm new to the group, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys go. I'm sticking with this voice, because why the not?
I love that you just censored yourself too. That's fantastic. 'Cause
I'm a very nice person.
Well, that's excellent. At least one of us is.
What race are you?
I'm a tiefling. I'm rose-colored, and I'm of ball. So instead of
Took me a minute.
instead of having hellish rebuke and darkness, I have ray of sickness and crown of madness. So
Hey.
He's a special
one of the more speciality tieflings from Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. So we'll get to see
Virgil T.S., as I said.
Virgil T.S. Good to meet you, sir. And Nate.
And I am playing Dago, the Phantom Demon. He is a Oni. Yes, and Oni from the Monster Manual.
Yes.
So, essentially, he's the Oni that got trapped in this world, and while he's trying to find his way back, he had to get a job. Because, everybody needs a job. But, no, it's pretty cool. He doesn't look like a traditional Oni. He's not, like, really big or anything. He can shapeshift to, like, more normal size, but he's still got the horns, still pretty obvious. Likes to keep his head covered just to not freak people out. I do have a friend with me. His name is Mel. Mel the Ghost Child. He is another monster. He looks like a floating ragdoll with the mouth stitched together. He carries a scythe and a lantern. And,
You're a very creepy looking guy, ain't you?
He
What?
really is.
well, he got stuck with me. I couldn't just leave him
You're a
behind.
scary one, ain't you?
For the record, that was pretty much just for me because I have a thing against dolls. So.
Didn't we all?
I wasn't intentionally
We didn't
against you.
before,
I
we
just
will
went
now.
through the monsters.
You're
and-
so full of crap.
Yeah. But
surprise me
yes,
one day when
he is
it'll
my friend and my
turn on
companion.
us.
So we have a friend and companion, Mel the doll.
Yes. So there you go, Mel.
Male?
Mel.
Mel.
M-E-L.
Mel. Okay.
Yes.
Right. I'll be playing Jez. I am a drow bard. And the accent will come really slowly for him because it takes me a minute to get used to it, and then it's really hard for me to get out of it. But it'll be there.
Hey, that's fine.
And it's a
That's
good thing I didn't
fine.
decide to make him Australian, apparently.
Uh-huh.
I just thought
Right.
that was kind of cockney. I didn't really think that was necessarily Australian.
I don't know what it was.
It's whatever I'm going with, honestly.
It was like the linguistic version of a sledgehammer. It just sort of...
So I have no idea what accent he is going for, but it's going to be.
It's a
one
culmination
other
of many
thing.
things.
So one other thing, I am teaching Mel how to understand the common language, and he occasionally gets his words mixed up.
Oh,
Just throwing that
Well,
out
this is
there.
really interesting.
that is a new twist.
So yeah, just
they have
throwing that
leveled
out there.
Since last time I played this. Okay, so there might be an occasional reference or two to things that a couple of these guys might have already seen, but for the most part, this is going to be relatively new. However, I'm going to try something a little bit different this go around. We're going to see how it goes, but to do that, I'm going to have to get you guys started first so you'll know why I'm going to try something a little bit different.
Oh, no.
So,
Everything's a surprise to me.
Oh, we dead. We so dead.
we have this wonderful in Discord thing happening at the Hags Master. And it's
Oh,
it's
I
nothing
forgot about
huge,
that.
nothing gigantic. But this particular insurance claim is, or call for investigation before claim, we'll say, has been coming in from the Hags Master to your Intrepid Insurance headquarters, where Braden, your character, has just been kind of accepted into the fold. They had
I have
a
slowly wormed my way into this organization.
yes, they had a misunderstanding and thought that you had worked for another insurance company before. So this is kind of all new to you, but you are still pretty high level with the things that you know how to do. So you're not totally out of your realm, but yeah, you are.
My father's famous.
Your father is famous.
Yes.
For?
My family for generations has been the sole maker of only specific armor.
All right. Interesting. So, yeah, it helps to have family.
That's where the last name comes from, T.S.
Ah.
We're Titty Smiths.
I feel like that needs an inspiration. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay. So.
Well, who do you think makes those armor? Someone's got to do it,
all
and
of
we're
you-
the ones that do it.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. So all of you guys are sitting at your respective cubicles. A lot of you are processing paperwork. You are kind of sitting at your desk, kind of wondering what it is you're supposed to be doing because they haven't really gotten that far in telling you what you're supposed to do. There's a stack of files, you don't know what's going on.
Right.
And suddenly you hear a bellow from the side of the room.
Oh, jeez.
There you go!
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to grab 3 of your closest companions and get into my office right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Apparently, I picked a bad day to come into the office.
Yes, you did.
These 3 just
Oh,
happen
yeah.
to be the closest to you in
what-
your general vicinity.
I'm imagining that meme where everybody in the office is hiding. They all have different hiding places. I'm imagining that happening right now.
Alright, we'll see what that old hag wants. You, and you. Come with me.
All right then.
So,
Apparently we got something to do.
all of you are really kind of nonplussed by the sight of Miss Grace, who is a half ogre.
I thought she was a half troll.
Oh, half troll. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're correct. Half troll.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
Oh.
And we really don't want to think about how
Yeah.
the other half got
Yeah.
into that equation.
No, you don't. So there is a half troll standing before you in what kind of looks like a predecessor to the modern day women's pantsuit. Kind of made out of patches of burgundy burlap. Looks like a really bad dye job.
Okay.
And attempts to look professional. Has a little goblin manservant to her side that's in an oversized kind of blazer and tie that drags on the ground.
I forgot about him.
This is a very weird place.
You have
You would-
no idea.
You would recognize him as Booyah, who
Yes.
is a goblin that they collected from one of the first adventures that this particular gaggle had
Right
together.
then.
So yes, there's a goblin that has he's rushing around the office trying to collect different papers and all of that good stuff. He runs up and hands a file folder to Miss Grace, the half troll, and she gestures for you to shut the door behind you, and kind of gestures for you to have a seat. There's one very broken chair and a couple of other chairs. There aren't enough chairs for you in this room, but one looks as though there might have been a giant, very heavy thing that sat in it a minute ago.
Keith.
Actually, no,
No,
that
it
would
wasn't
happen
you,
with
that's
Steven.
not me.
Nope.
Steven.
Hi, Stormy!
Knowing the see you, Stormy. So knowing that particular chair is not in the best of shape, I'm just gonna lean against the wall next to the door.
That's wise, because
Yeah.
it's like mainly on the ground.
Gentlemen, it seems we have a little bit of an issue. Got this claim, or an interest, we'll say, from one of our taverns. It's a traveling tavern, so I feel like you might have a bit of an advantage, seeing as obviously you find yourself in them frequently.
She points to kind of a pile of pink slips on her desk that have been written out for you for being drunk on the job.
Oops.
This is a dear friend of mine. There's not really anything that I can officially on the books do, because we don't have any evidence of any kind of damage or wrongdoing. There's just a complaint about not being able to get out of the tavern.
And so we're going to go into the tavern?
Great. Can you say that one time for me, but just a little bit slower?
There seems to be a problem with getting out of the tavern.
So how did the message get out?
She points to a kind of a big shelf behind her, various stones, some of which are lighting up. It's kind of like a
Scenting
chalkboard.
stones. I know those quite well.
Yep.
Old-fashioned telephones.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like, we got word this morning, and I'm kind of fond of this one, so as a preventative precaution, I feel as though perhaps it would be in our best interest to figure out what's going on before there's a bigger problem.
Can they not just open the door?
Apparently not.
Can they not just step through when we go through? Or we can just keep the door open when we
I
go
guess
in.
we'll find out.
If you'd like, I'd have the circle drawn out for you outside.
So if we get stuck in there over the weekend, we get overtime pay, right? That's how that works.
I just kind of take a step. I take a step over here. It's just kind of like away from him.
Her eyes kind of narrow as she says,
Sure.
and just scratches the side of her face, her very unsightly face.
No furniture flying.
What?
No furniture flying.
Not this time. You might not necessarily believe what she's saying, but it's...
Actually, can I get an insight roll on that, please?
Sure. Yes, you can.
That'll be a 19.
A 19.
She's not gonna pay.
There we go. That one, none of you think that she's telling you the truth.
Yeah, we're not getting paid overtime. Screw that.
Nope.
Yes, but what an adventure it'll be.
I like his spirit. You all should be more like this one.
Who are you?
The name's Virgil.
Oh.
Evidently, he's not someone who's worked here very long.
No.
No, he was at Jeff's desk this morning when I came in. I don't know.
Who's Jeff? What happened to Jeff?
What did happen to Jeff?
I'm friends with his father. He called in a favor. He seems to know his stuff. He's got a good resume.
Okay.
I turned in the resume?
Somebody did on your behalf.
Oh, good.
So, here's the information we have on the tavern. And, yeah, you might want to bring a pillow or something, because people are having some issues. You might end up there for a minute.
So I take the piece of paper and I start reading it. What does it say?
Pretty much it's a case file on the tavern itself, like saying what all is insured, what all is involved in it. Like it has like building plans and all of that. And it would be Maria's Tavern, the Hagmaster. So there's information on Maria and George, the tavern owners. George being the chef as well. She's the barkeep and kind of brewmaster. And yeah, so you've got a lot of their personal information.
Okay.
You do notice something kind of odd. The address says not applicable.
Well, Wandering Tavern, yeah.
Well, I assume it's a moving tavern, so it doesn't have an address or anything like that.
Well,
It pops in and out where it needs to.
okay, shall we get going?
Yes.
There's,
Walk outside.
out in the main room, you guys will know that back towards the back of the room there is a shelf with a bunch of different runes and whatnot, and this poor random cloaked guy who tends to send you guys all of the places that you need to go if Booyah is not doing that job as well. So there's just a man in a very, very ominous black cloak that's very slowly picking rune stones off of the wall and laying them
Oh
in
boy, what a
patterns
cheery
on the
fellow.
floor.
So I yell back to the office, Mel, get over here, we're leaving.
Oh.
Get your damn doll out of my office! Phew.
It stops like mid-flight through the room and like.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
starts
not creepy at
flying.
all.
Yeah, he floats, he doesn't walk.
Hate that creepy
Even
doll.
more creepy.
Right. So you guys end up over by the runes where they're concocting a bit of a portal to send you over into the tavern, where they have received instructions.
Wherever it might be.
Yes.
Yeah, this seems fun.
It's a job.
It is a job. It is a job. The man kind of puts the last rune into place, waves his hands, and there's a nice little, just kind of green shimmery haze over the ground where all of those are laid out.
So are you going to take the new guy through with you, or are we just going to let him go through on his own?
I say let him just go through it.
I like that plan.
So do I.
Alright, I'll go through.
And make me a con save since this is the first time you've done this at disadvantage. You
Oh.
don't know
Six.
what's coming to brace yourself.
6 plus 6. 12.
You don't totally roll. You think about it real hard for a minute as spaghettification kind of takes place. It feels as though you're being pulled by your belly button through a strainer and reorganizing yourself on the other side. So as
That was
you
fun.
kind of jump out into the middle of a broom closet floor where there are also a few different stones that have been placed for access. And you kind of, as you stand up, you end up having to grab a wall for support, but you don't upchuck. And the rest of
Good
you,
job.
roll your con saves.
Oh, you can't do. Oh.
Oh.
11.
15.
That was a 5.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
So
So
yes.
hairballs all the way around. Hairballs for everybody.
Jonathan Goldpiece, Rolf's everything, all the hair, all the
You're
everything.
fired.
Unfortunately, part of it lands on the new guy. You guys catch little bits of it too, but I think more of it lands on Virgil than the rest of you.
It's because I was aiming for him.
Oh,
Well, that wasn't
that's
fortunate.
just rude.
I mean, if he had to aim for one of us.
Yeah, might as well be the new guy.
As long as it's not you, right? So you have a similar situation
Yeah.
that Virgil did coming out, and Dago kind of like staggers a little bit and leans up against the wall to catch himself, but you manage all right. You're relatively unfazed, like you're getting more and more accustomed to this queasy feeling, so you're just able to predict it and be a little bit cooler with it. So we are now at the Hag's Master Broom Closet. This is going to be where we're going to try something. I'm not sure how this is going to work. But there are one right now, potentially 2 people that have been playing in the Hag's Master. So while you're not going to be as active a role as our insurance agents, since you have characters currently in the bar, I will allow occasional input from those of you who do already have characters in play at the bar.
Oh boy.
While you won't necessarily be able to take actions with the other characters, you might do a thing here and there that might influence what's going on in the room. So we're gonna try and see how that works. I've not done that before, and it's not something that you're gonna expect out of the main campaign. But we'll try it here in a one shot in safe confines and see how it goes.
Safe.
So you
Kind
are all
interaction.
now officially in the closet. Do you come out of the closet?
I mean, what else?
I'm
do you
not
do
ready
when
for
you're
that
in
kind
the
of
closet?
commitment.
I open the door.
We proudly march out of the closet.
It is a relatively small broom closet, so all of you
Yes.
kind of out the door. And
Well,
and
since he's covered in
into-
barf, yeah, I'm gonna get away from him.
Yeah.
You smell bad.
It's unfortunate.
You-
No, I didn't attune to that. Never mind.
You empty into a room that is a relatively nice room, nice like log cabin kind of a feel. There's a fire on the hearth, really nice, nice warm feeling. Long tables and smaller tables all lined up. It is an active place. There are a lot of people mulling about at the bar itself. Lots of conversations happening in the room with an assortment of bizarre characters. There is a very large. I'm trying to remember what Red Claw is now. Very large man wearing a bearskin, sitting at one table with what looks like a were something. He's a very hairy fellow sitting there. There is a bird currently gesturing wildly for a woman in front of him who seems to be drawing him furiously. There's a small gnome woman behind the bar taking orders. There are a few people passed out here and there throughout the place that seem to have had a heartily good time. So it's a nice long bar. There are step stools that you can kind of see because as you come out of the closet, the bar is kind of pretty close to the closet, and the kitchen is back there. So you can see how she's worked out all of these fun little like box steps and whatnot so that she can access everything, since most things are built for normal humanoid size. So yes, that is the scene in which you enter.
Is it bright lit in here, or is it dim light?
Not bright, but not dim. Pretty standard. Like there are a decent number of shadows about because of the fireplace. It's giving off a nice warm red glow, and there are some lamps here and there. So there are shadows that could be crept around in if you wanted to,
Alright.
but it's not like dim.
Are there windows?
Yes.
I would like to look out one of the windows. What do I see?
It looks like you are in. Actually, right now it looks like you're in Waterdeep, but that could change. at
Do the
any given-
windows open?
Yes, they do.
Can I open this window?
Yes, you can.
I would like to open this window.
You successfully open the window.
I would like to pick up like a fork or a knife or something off one of the tables and stick it out the window.
As you stick it, as you stick it out the window, you're surprised when a fork stabs your own hand.
I was like portals!
What do you
I'm
do?
gonna try that a few more times just to see.
You continue stabbing yourself in the hand.
Do you need something a bit longer, mate?
But if you'd like to try it, I would happily watch you try and stick something out the window.
Alright,
Here, try
I'll
this
grab
knife.
my pole of collapsing. Yeah, the 10-foot pole that I uncollapse from the rod. And now I have a 10-foot pole that I'll stick through and see what happens.
You poke yourself in the gut. It's kind of an odd thing because it looks to still be just the outside. But from the outside, there is a random pole just working its way back in.
Can we see where the pole starts?
Not really, it's kind of just this hazy little fuzz background.
I'll pull my pole out and recollapse from the rod and put it back in my bag of holding.
Yes.
So I'm gonna pick up that knife off the table. Look out the window.
Oh, no.
Oh!
gonna fling it and duck back out a little bit.
Wow, you think I'm back?
Oh, I need to check a spell. To save myself.
I would like for you to roll a percentile dice.
A
Oh,
percentile.
I hope it's not the new guy.
I would like to do a dex save.
That's probably wise.
I'm just dropping to the ground as soon as I see him pick it up and go back with it.
Also probably wise.
I trust my teammates.
74%.
Okay. So this is what happens.
Luckily it wasn't me.
As you
wasn't me this
throw
time.
the as you throw the knife out the window, there is this nice like whizzing sound past your ear that indicates that the knife is back in the room, and you guys narrowly manage to dive out of the way before the knife ends up striking a halfling in the middle of the room. Thankfully, it's lost a lot of momentum, so it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does stick into the side of his arm pretty decently.
Good God! What's
I'm gonna hand you another one and be like, would you like to go for 2?
who did this?
looking away like I have no idea what's going on.
Who did this? Who?
It was the lizard.
Roll me a deception, Keith.
Oh, good. I have no bonus to deception.
Red Claw, if you are still out there, you see you see a tabaxi throw a knife through a window. The knife comes back in. Everybody ducks out of the way, and it flies into the middle of the room and hits this poor halfling guy in the arm. 3.
Oh.
The halfling jumps out of his chair and angrily marches like his very small self up to you and holds the knife up.
What was the idea of this, son?
Science experiment.
What have we
Roll for
learned?
confusion.
That apparently you can't throw knives out the window here.
For every action, there is an equal and opposite
Opposite
reaction.
I'd watch where you sleep if I were you.
I don't plan to sleep here.
Well, none of the rest of us did either.
And he like just kind of tosses the knife to the side and it pings into the wall. And he marches away quite angrily.
Another one of those and I'll have your head.
Glad to see you're making friends.
Quickly at that.
Yep.
Perhaps we should seek out the proprietress.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a drink.
I mean, you might owe the halfling a few. But that's just me.
So, over to the bar.
Okay. You make your way to the bar. It's a beautifully, like, polished bar. You can tell that it's very well taken care of. Seems to be a little bit messier now than you gather it probably would normally be. The gnome woman behind the counter looks a bit frazzled and as though she has not slept in a bit. If she were not sleep deprived, she would be very pretty. Very kind of like pale skin, reddish hair kind of tied back. Very kind of sing-songy voice that is a bit strained right now because you can tell she doesn't want to be here at the moment. And she is getting out drink orders just as fast as she can.
And Keith is blanking.
Maria,
Miss Maria?
you just met a gnome named Maria. Okay.
Miss Maria?
Yes.
My friends and I represent Intrepid Insurance. Miss Grace sent us.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. I've been waiting for you for what feels like forever, but it's probably just feels like forever because I haven't slept and I haven't done much other than just give people booze, and it's been a very long night. She
Who's
kind of like,
Jesus?
What?
You said Jesus. So that was a Jesus joke. Sorry.
Woo!
So, can you tell us when exactly you noticed something was amiss, something was wrong?
well, about last night at say 11:30, one of my patrons tried to exit the building, just walked right back in into another one person behind him, slapped right into him. And then I had two unconscious buggers on the floor, and I'm a weenie, so trying to actually drag them out of the way for other people to try the exact same thing, only to come in and trip on them. It was a bit disastrous. I've had no luck getting into the windows or doors. About the only thing that works is the broom closet. Congratulations, you found our one working door.
This is a gnome at her ends.
She's very cheerful.
That is a good point. I'm going to go back to the broom closet.
You gonna throw a knife?
No, I'm going to see. So the runes are sort of laid out like they were when we got here. Does it look as though the portal is actually working?
Not currently.
Bugger. I don't know how to start this fool contraption back. Hey, go. Do. I'm gonna just sort of like do the thing. Come
Give
on.
me a perception.
Up.
Not
Go.
like that. You're supposed to do magic hands things.
You have to do jazz hands. in
Yes,
the middle.
jazz hands.
God, 7.
Wow.
The dice hate me tonight, guys.
You don't know. This is bizarre to you.
So has anyone else been able to come in?
About that, it seems we got a bit of a problem. Because about every, I don't know, somewhere between half hour and an hour, everything changes on the outside. We still can't go anywhere. But now instead of walking back in, we walk into somewhere else. So that's how these two got here.
There's one weird little thing that looks like an automaton that's in the corner just looking very confused by his surroundings. and in the other corner there is a very woodsy looking elf that also looks very confused, but he's at least having better luck as far as being a conversationalist, it seems. He's having talks with other people in the room trying to figure things out.
So they both came from different places. Don't know completely how, but we lost a few of ours to theirs too.
Yeah.
By my estimation, you got about 10 minutes before everything changes and goes all willy-nilly again.
I am going to sit down in the broom closet and I am going to ritual cast detect magic.
Okay.
What's
Roll me a
up?
con save.
I'm gonna go to the door and inspect it.
Con save.
Yep.
So has anyone tried digging their way out through the cellar?
Well, actually, no. It's a thought.
7.
Everything is lit up so much. You have the worst headache that you've had in a while. It doesn't make you throw up, but you can like hardly see straight right now. It's awful. Like everything is
I'm gonna
just.
shut that. I'm gonna shut that crap down right now. Whoa.
Yep.
So
yep.
can Virgil get on his hands and knees and investigate the magic circle?
Absolutely.
I will put on my special glasses. I'm putting on my Eyes of Minute Seeing. It just gives me advantage on investigation checks when I'm within a foot, so that's why I'm so close.
I like that Braden's character is
Yeah.
Okay.
basically a rich kid
Uh,
whose parents have bought him a bunch of fancy toys.
No,
Yeah.
I made these myself. 21.
Okay, so you can see, well, a couple of the stones, while they're close to being in the right alignment, aren't quite there. But also, there seems to be one stone that's kind of special in the bunch that is almost like a timer. It's like the dude who was opening the portal knew that getting back might be a problem. So he sort of gave you a failsafe with a timer that goes off about every 2 hours to reopen the portal. Usually you would need a spellcaster for that who could do that same spell.
Right.
But for this, there is a timer so that you've got a 2-hour window, like or like probably 5 to 10 minute window every 2 hours.
Alright.
I got a 17. Investigate the door. Like the main door.
Sure. It's
made
a
of
door.
wood.
It's a well-built door. It's very well cared for. There is a large bolt. The little latchy thing that yeah.
Yeah, the door latch.
There's a really nice door latch that is very decorative as well as functional. So
I'm
it's-
gonna open it. It just looks like it's outside.
Just looks like water deep.
I'm gonna stick my head through.
Oh boy.
You get a really bad headache.
Do I see anything on the other side?
You see the inside of the room you're currently standing in.
I pulled my head back.
I would like to cast message through the door at one of the people I can see walking down the street.
Okay.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There is a person that seems to pause as you cast message.
Right, so can you see me? I want you to turn around. Right, now look over here.
He
That's it.
absolutely thinks he's being mugged right now.
That's it. Turn over here. Alright, do you see me standing there in the doorway?
Oh yes, I'm not an idiot.
Great, I want you to come on in here over to me.
Okay. He walks in.
Right, so it seems the problem really is just going out.
Wait, what?
Oh, you can't leave. I mean, you can go ahead and
You can try.
but you can't actually leave.
What? He's holding this bag, just like, I promised my wife I would get these home. Like right now, she's gonna think about philandering.
Well, that's really unfortunate. We'll get you home as soon as we figure this out.
Run.
He runs through the door and back into it.
Yeah, as soon as I see him running, I'm just gonna step out of the way so he can just come running back in.
What is this black magic?
Maybe you should give it another try.
What? I don't understand. My wife's gonna kill me.
Okay, calm down. Go to the bar and have a drink.
The bag of snails that he has in his hands.
The bag of what?
Snails.
Snails.
A little bit of escargot there.
Yes, he was sent to get snails for tea.
And bravo DM for that reference.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love it.
5 more feet, lads. We're nearly there.
So, could I do a check, or an Arcana check to determine what is going on?
Magic.
Sure.
Like, can I identify... Can I look through the macros of this computer and
You
see
can
what's
try.
going on?
You can
Can
try and
try.
see.
I missed.
Oh no.
It's gone.
Is there
No, I don't want it to be gone.
Gone.
So is there like an upstairs downstairs?
Leave it to Roland.
It belongs
There
to the
is a
ferrets.
cellar.
So
Oh,
there's
no.
a cellar, is there a
If this is the same one
There
as
is an inn. Yes. So
yeah,
there's an inn
if
above
this
it.
is the same one as it was from the one game, then yeah, there's.
Oh, baby.
So what's upstairs?
Upstairs looks from here like a relatively
Oh, I got it.
normal. You can see the stairway up into the
Oh.
the area where
Was
the
it worth
rooms
it?
would be.
You have
I'm
an
going to
inspiration.
kind of
Oh, I
stand
do.
up the stairs holding my head because, ow. I've got such a migraine, and I'm going to.
Wait, what did you?
Pick a room at random.
What'd you get the first time?
See if I can
6.
open the door and go there.
When you walk
Take a
through
bardic
the doorway
inspiration.
to the hallway,
add a
you end up
D8.
back in the stairwell.
Huh.
The little
Okay.
landing upstairs.
No, wait. Nat 1 cancels everything.
But you had advantage, so because you spent your inspiration.
True.
Guys, we have more of a sticky wicket than just not being able to get out of the tavern. We can't even get out of the room. Watch. I'm gonna try it again.
Oh.
I can't get down the hall.
So it's room based. Oh, a 15 Arcana.
15 Arcana. There is a very, very powerful magic happening here. You can't necessarily identify where it came from, but it seems as though the nature of space and time is being altered. So really, nothing that you can't figure out by the physics, but it's not a charm in your mind. You can tell that. This is a physical thing that's happening.
So I'm gonna stagger back down the stairs and over to the bar. Miss Maria,
Hey, lad.
2 questions. One, can you give me something for a splitting headache?
She pulls out a bottle of whiskey from the...
We
I'll
specialize in that.
I'll take it. And 2, who was the last person to come in before things went wibbly wobbly on you?
Before they went wibbly wobbly, or the last one to come in since they went wibbly wobbly.
Before.
Before, that is that fell right over there. And she points over to the face of a man who seems to just be sitting there drinking his ale. He seems to be a bit 2 sheets to the wind at this point, because you gather they've all been here for a minute at this point. And when you're stuck in a bar with no rooms to get to, with no place to go because you just keep ending back up in the same place, there's not a lot to do other than gaming and drinking.
3rd question. How are your booze supplies holding up?
For the moment, okay, but it's only been a single night.
Do they seem like they've decreased any, or have they replenished themselves?
Oh no, they've decreased, laddie. A dramatic bit, I'm afraid.
Just making sure.
So if nobody can leave, where do they go to pee?
I don't think that's a question we want to answer.
That's what the empty bottles are for.
She nods and gestures to the side where there are a bunch of empty bottles, or they should be empty bottles.
Quite unpleasant. So do we got any ideas?
She kind of looks down at a timepiece that looks very ornate and lovely, shiny, and a little thing goes off in the middle of it. Everybody roll me a con save.
Oh, Roland, come on. Give me pity. 9.
16.
17.
3.
Oh.
So I'm a 9 and a 3. You guys get hit by a massive dizzy spell. All of you do, but you two just kind of feel like, oh wow, I got overheated for a second. I'm good. You
Take a
guys
seat.
fall over.
Oh.
Then
How
it
long does
passes.
it last?
Probably about like minute and a half, 2 minutes. Not super
Yeah,
long.
not long. Okay.
Yep. You can see like Maria is holding on to the bar.
This is the neighbor in Mary Poppins who always fires his cannons at the same
Yeah.
time every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Maybe yeah. So you said that gentleman over there was the first.
The last one before everything went all sideways.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to need 4 mugs of ale, please.
All right. She pours 4 mugs of ale.
Okay. So I give one to the guy who just came in. So here, drink this. It'll help you calm down.
What good it's gonna do me? I'm gonna die. My wife, she's gonna kill me if I ever get out of here alive.
So looking out the window, has anything? Is it still water deep?
It is.
Okay.
Then
Is
what
it the
was the
same part of
dizzy
the
spell?
city?
It is.
Does it look like we've moved at all?
No.
Is it still the same time of day?
Yes.
Keith, throw down a knife.
As Virgil is a very well versed in fashion, are we in a different time period?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll an investigation and look to see what. Oh my god!
Key.
Ah.
All of them are
Would you
fire.
like to use one of mine?
Looks like it hasn't changed much.
Alright. I'm gonna take one of my mugs. Mel, I got a mug for you. Come drink up. And I'm gonna take the other two. And I'm gonna go to the guy
Okay.
and offer him a mug. It's like, here's another one on me. Mind if we have a little chat?
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. I'm beginning to run low on funds, but it seems like we're no closer to being out of here.
So, to my understanding, you were the last one to walk in just before everything went all whoosh.
Lucky me.
What, may I ask what you were doing before you walked in?
I'd actually just gone to the print shop. Picked up a few different things to post around town. Bounties and such. Just wandered in for my evening imbibement. And haven't been able to walk out successfully yet.
And that was it.
Have perhaps managed to get a black eye. And he kind of turns his face to you, and there is indeed a shiner that's welting up. But have not successfully made it out of a tavern.
Can I look around the room and see if there's someone who is happy about their situation?
Sure.
As everyone else seems to be, like, hate their
Do you
situation.
mean happy and not drunk?
Yeah, same thing. Investigate, perception. You want perception or...
I'll take either.
I'll do investigation. 23.
Ooh.
Nice.
So nobody looks super happy to be in this situation. However, there are some people that seem to be coping far better than others. Like they're having lively conversation and playing games, and it's
And
like,
they're more
oh
drunk.
yeah, I don't have to go home yet because I'm stuck, so I have an instant out. You know, you've got a handful of folks like that. There are a few people kind of passed out drunkish that are sort of lining the back wall, and a couple of people who might just be asleep because they've been there for a long time and were tired. You can't quite tell the difference between the two unless you get close enough to them to smell, then you would know.
Ooh, what is that?
Excuse
I don't know.
It's alright. Carry on.
Have a doorbell?
Yes.
Did you order a pizza?
Lance
Oh.
just discovered we had a doorbell. Surprise!
Okay.
We never use it.
No.
Alright. Sorry. But, yeah. So they're the people kind of leaning up against the wall that had either had too much to drink or were just tired. You could tell the difference if you wanted to in
Right.
their scent. There are a few different people playing games to the side. And there are definitely some people that look very out of place. Like they just kind of stepped in from elsewhere.
So, Maria, your traveling tavern, the hopping magic thing, how does that normally work?
Well, here's the thing. It was
I listen intently.
it was charmed by quite the gifted talent in magic to be available to those who might need it or know about it. So essentially, when somebody wants to look for it, they find it. Or if somebody just really needs a drink and they're in a place that they don't necessarily have the ability, somehow or another, we just show up.
And I can't suppose that the person who crafted such a wonderful magical enchantment is stuck here with us.
Oh, unfortunately, no. Would be a convenient supposition, though. I do like the way your brain is working.
Would I know any way that you could counter a charm to make it do what it's doing now?
No, this is a bit beyond your scope.
Alright.
Can anybody cast Dispel Magic?
No. Alright.
No, that's boring.
Oh, man, I knew I should have taken that spell.
That's a boring spell.
I
I
mean,
don't need it.
do you want to know where this thing goes if it dispels?
Well, if it's not here and it lets us leave, I really don't care where it is.
Even if it's on a different material plane? Or one of the other planes of existences?
Yeah, we have a magic teleport circle. Really not worried about it.
I don't know what kind of range it has, but I'm out of ideas at the moment. I have no idea how this works.
Well, it did just recently get all shifty and stuff. Maybe the doors lead somewhere else.
Be my guest. Better yet, send that stupid doll through the door.
Virgil,
Mm.
can I get your poking stick?
I was about to say, not that doll, the other doll.
No, I don't see why not.
Okay, I go back to the door and I...
You don't see a pole come back through to you this time. You do feel it hit something solidish squishy.
I have my pull back. Thank you.
Well, that's weird.
If it lets you have it back.
Please let it have it back. I don't have many things in this world.
You end up being able to still hold on to it, but you get the impression it's because you're being allowed to hang on to it. As you pull back through with it, an ogre. Congratulations, you have an ogre on a stick.
I'll take
I'm
that
going
pull
to
back, click, and it turns back into a rod, and I'm just gonna put it back.
I'm going to back way up. Like, as far as I can.
I just kind of look out like, drink, sir? Drink?
I would like to cast Suggestion.
Okay.
And I'm going to say to the ogre, you want to go home and rethink your life.
What's the
It's a
DC?
wisdom save.
Wisdom
DC
save.
14.
Okay, please.
Nice.
Oh, but that was good.
Oh. But don't you want to?
I
Does
can't.
that count as a humanoid?
I think
Large
ogres might.
giant?
As I say, I think ogres are giants.
I'm going to take out my instrument, the bar, the Mac for an Enchirton, and cast box skin on myself. Ding, 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 ding. And now I have like bark oil covering my body, and I'm just gonna back up a tiny bit.
gonna reach over my shoulder, pull an arrow out, and knock it, and draw.
I now have an
I'm
AC of
going to
16.
Wait.
Fire.
I'm gonna grab a mug of ale and hand it to him.
I
He
mean,
still has.
I'm trying.
He still has a mug of ale that he pulled with him into this world.
Wait, what?
But he grabs both of yours in one hand.
Go back through the door, please.
Why you poke?
Right, I'm pretty sure he's talking to you. Explain to the good sir why you poked
My
him.
dear sir, I apologize. I did not see you over there.
Tink, tink, tink.
I not see you either.
Right,
It's-
that's sort of the problem.
it's a misunderstanding.
If you look out the door, right, that's our problem too.
He goes over to the doorway and sticks his head through, and it kind of misties out about it as and you can kind of tell that he's turning his head from side to side, pulls it back in.
That neat trick.
That
What
not
did
us.
What did you see when you poked your head out?
Apparently we can leave now.
The bar?
Or not. So I'm gonna go over to our window that's open,
Which bar?
My bar.
and I'm gonna. stick
And what
my
is
head
your
out the
bar
window.
called? Again, I have a terrible memory.
Oakshire?
Oakshire?
Yes.
So I'm
Okay.
poking my head through our window that's open.
You poke your head into the window of
Yeah.
a bar that is largely inhabited by ogres and half ogres, who all kind of give you a similar voice of "Arr," and all of the heads turn to you.
Don't mind me, I took a wrong turn. I'm gonna close the window. We'll go through here.
You kind of hear a couple of gurrs and growls and whatnot, like before you pull your head back in, and then they vanish. It's like,
So you in bar.
Yeah.
I in bar.
Yep.
How I get from bar to bar.
You came through the door. Apparently,
Hey, you got 2 drinks out of it.
this seems completely logical in his brain. It's like, okay, I did walk through a door. I ended up here. Okay, that seems reasonable.
My good sir, if you would like to return to your bars, step through the door again.
He walks behind the counter and grabs a barrel of something and just walks back through.
Well,
Maria's
Nope,
just
nope.
standing there.
That's probably a really, really low price to pay for having him leave.
I it is. See, I call you here and I end up with ogres. Now I have maybe ogres and not able to leave.
So as soon as he walks out, I'm closing the door
Yep.
and barring it.
Close the door.
You successfully close and bar the door.
Well, that was a bit interesting.
Well, things are different now. I mean, that's sort of an improvement. We can leave to the other bar.
Well, we don't know where it
But
is.
we still can't get outside.
Can't we? Well, he was able to
I'm
leave.
gonna try and message another person out on
No,
the
he just
street,
went
'cause
into
we
the
still
other
see
bar.
Waterdeep.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try messaging another person out on the street.
Oh, don't choose a child.
I don't say anything after I'm like, hello.
Hello? What?
Right, well, it still works.
We can't leave.
Oh God.
Whichever one you are. Well,
Okay.
I have no ideas.
Well, if you give it a few more minutes,
I suspect things will all go shifty again. Seems to be the same places over and over.
Have you counted how many places?
Well, I doubt that I've caught all of them because I've been seeing to all of this lot. Crazy drunkards that they are.
Yes.
So we know at least 2
To what?
places.
A
Let's
bar named Ogre and Waterdeep.
Right, Maria, do you remember what it looked like outside when this first happened?
Well, it looked like Waterdeep. At some point I stuck my head through and there were a bunch of bunnies. I don't understand that one. But it was still a bar. They all had wee little trousers on. It was so cute.
Peter Rabbit?
So is it always a bar when it goes somewhere else?
Apparently.
Huh.
Does that mean all bars are connected?
In this
Well, they'd
case,
have to be,
yes.
wouldn't they?
But, well, yeah, I mean, it is, but it's not supposed to be.
Right, so your bar goes wherever it's needed.
Or in this case, a bunch of random places I've never seen before.
And we keep showing up with all the other bars.
Mm-hmm.
Are we needed at a bar? I don't know. Apparently that guy needed a cask of my finest whiskey.
Well, I have no ideas.
Right, so your magic teleporting stuff, where is, what was that enchanted on? And please don't say the whole bar.
It was the whole bar.
Then why can't we go to the cellar?
I mean, I do have access to the cellar. Seems to be working fine so far.
I wonder what's on the other side of the hallway.
No idea.
Do we want to know?
Guess
I'm gonna go very
probably the
cautiously.
same.
Peek just a little bit through.
You are a floating head above the landing of another bar with an inn, and it is full of ogres and half ogres, who again all very confused by the floating head. Shortly after you bow out, there is a floating ogre head that seems to have become interested in you. So you see this
It's best if you just don't think about it.
Wow, they are not smart.
No, they are not.
They're ogres.
And he made a 4 on his intelligence checks. that didn't hurt any. So a few minutes pass by with you mulling about, figuring things out. A couple of figures manage to kind of stumble back up to the bar and get more booze. One of them goes, sits back in the corner. A few more of them come up to tables. They might have been sleeping before, and they're kind of mulling about. And ding on her little watch. Everybody roll me a con save.
Oh, jeez.
I apologize for the sniffing, apparently.
Natural 20.
Ooh, 21.
Ooh, nice numbers.
10.
Oh.
Ouch.
16.
16. Okay, so mostly everybody does pretty good here. You get kind of dizzy. It takes you a minute to steady yourself. You get a little bit of a heave, but you don't lose it. But you do have to kind of grab onto the bar for dear life for a couple of minutes because you've got quite a dizzy spell. You actually feel somehow rejuvenated. You feel real good about life right now. You're not really sure why, but you seem to see with a little more clarity than usual, you feel like. Maybe it's all in your head. But something cool just shifted in your universe, and it felt real good. It felt right, man. It felt right. You guys did really well. Like, you knew that it was coming, kind of held on to something, and just steeled yourself through the thing.
I forgot to ask. Does Mel need to make a save?
Sure.
He's a familiar, but
Sure.
sure, why not?
Just for funsies.
Oh, that one.
The doll is now face down on the bar, a little bit in a puddle. So yeah, you're all good. You're all
That kid cannot hold his liquor.
Right. So when this happened the first time, you didn't notice anything out of the ordinary for your bar. It just happened.
just out of the blue. There was a little bit of everybody feeling a little wonky for a second, and then all of a sudden we couldn't leave.
I didn't feel wonky. I felt absolutely amazing.
You, sir, you're in the minority, lad.
Well, then why don't you go look? See what we got
Yeah,
now.
I think it's your turn to stick your head out the window.
Right, what do I see out the window?
You stick your head into the window of another bar. This one is really quite fancy and upscale. There's a fountain feature in the back of it, and there are all of these really beautiful statues that are kind of lining the walls. The bar is marble, and with some really pretty etchings and whatnot. There's a very well dressed elven woman behind the bar tending it. And all of the characters seem to be quite demure. Then nobody seems to be particularly rowdy. There's a harpist playing in the sides. It's a nice place, it looks like.
Put my head back in. That place is a lot nicer. They're very fancy.
Really?
No.
No ogres?
No, a bunch of nice looking folks.
I stick my head through the look.
You see the same thing. Everybody's really kind of chill, just they're sipping their beverages. A lot more fluffy cocktails and less like hard liquor visible.
Ooh.
These folks like to mix their beverages apparently.
Maybe we should go over there and talk to them.
Right, but if we do that, how are we going to get back?
Well, once we get back before the shift, we should be good, right?
I mean, in theory.
And two.
If you want to try your luck, go for it.
Mel, you awake?
He's upright. He's a little crooked.
Yes, I'm sure they will love to talk to your creepy familiar. That'll definitely give you big inroads with them.
Would you like to go talk to him?
Absolutely not.
And what are you doing? You've been quiet for a while.
I'm thinking and I'm trying to settle my stomach.
So it looks to me like this bar is searching for its other half. Because it's just the inside of the bar that goes away. I can still send messages to people in Waterdeep.
Like, other half as it wants to get married?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, I'm implying that the bar would like to get married to another bar. It's currently shopping around for great places and meeting great people. It's like speed dating for bars.
You get an inspiration for that one.
My intelligence is -1, so...
I mean, it's like someone scooped out the inside of the bar, but left the outside where it was, and now the inside's wandering around looking for its outside.
It's actually a really excellent way to say it.
Does that make it any clearer for you?
Miss Maria, I have another question for you.
Yes.
When was the last time you've seen your husband?
Oh, he's in the kitchen.
Ah, okay. So the kitchen goes with the bar.
Apparently.
Just thought I'd ask.
He might be taking a nap right now. I haven't actually admittedly heard his voice in a minute. But
Alright.
since this whole shebang started, he's been working and trying to keep these hooligans happy.
Alright, so I'm going to push away from the bar and I'm going to head for the kitchen.
it is a well-kept kitchen. George, from the looks of it, is a very well trained chef. He's got a lot of different ins and outs that you wouldn't necessarily expect in a relatively low class tavern. Granted, this place is not low class, but it's pretty generally adaptable. Like
Okay.
it caters to the rich, the poor, the everybody in between.
Okay.
So like this is a bit more impressive a kitchen than what you would have imagined, just because the crowd seems so mishmash.
Okay. Looking around, is there any sort of door or window or passage to the outside?
No, it's an interior room.
Interior room. Okay. Alright.
George is kind of slumped over a stove that is not currently on. He's kind of slumped over it with his head on his hands, very large, half orc. Appearance wise, looks a little bit more on the human side,
Okay.
but size wise, definitely more half orc. You can see some half orcish features, but generally just giant mountain, handsome-ish fellow
Okay.
with some odd features.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna wake him up.
That's
so I'm
probably
just
wise.
gonna turn.
I was gonna say you need a
I'm just gonna
poking
back
stick.
out. I'm just gonna back out of the kitchen then.
I'm just gonna look around for anything weird in the bar. I don't know. I'm kind of out of ideas.
The people are super weird.
Yeah, other than the people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of mishmash of people. There is the cellar. There's all of that, but really not too much. Not too much is out of place until you get to the exterior. But yeah, the people are quite odd. It's a very odd mishmash of people.
Maybe we should talk to the people.
Well, you always do that. I think I'll go check out.
I think that's a good idea. Also, Catman, over there.
Yes.
You can cast detect magic and stuff, right?
Yes.
But it made you sick when you did it inside the bar.
Yes.
Maria, how long do we have before the next wibbly wobbly thing?
I'd say about 15 minutes ish.
Right, why don't we step outside the bar and you cast your spell and we see what it looks like from the outside.
Okay.
Then maybe we can figure out what kind of magic this is.
And while you guys are doing that, I think I'll go take a look down into the cellar. I've got an idea, and I want to see if it actually works.
We'll dig our way out.
Intrigued. Okay.
Okay. So.
We will go to the other tavern.
Right, well, we have to go to the other tavern if he's gonna cast detect magic, we have to step out of the tavern anyway. Do you want to talk to people inside or outside the tavern?
Inside.
I doubt the people outside of it know anything about why.
They're pretty high and fancy. They might look down on us.
Right, which is why I'm just not going to talk to them. We're going to cast detect magic and we're going to leave. And then you can talk to the people on the inside.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll head on over to the doorway and step through.
You end up in a very, very beautiful space. Like hardwood floors, marble bar. The tabletops are marble with like etched vines and whatnot on the sides of them. Everyone is kind of sipping, having quiet conversations and whatnot. They do kind of they stop when you come in and look at you, but not menacingly by any means.
These are elves, right?
Some of them are elves, some
Okay.
of them are humanoids. Like
Okay.
you're not necessarily racially out of place. You look like you're not well dressed enough to be here, but it's not.
Okay.
Like
I can live with that.
Doesn't seem like anybody's looking down on you. It just kind of catches everybody off guard for a second, and the bartender is kind of like hands in sleeves and like gives you a polite nod.
Alright, Catman. Do your thing.
Okay. So I will go ahead and cast detect magic. I'm just going to go ahead and cast it. I'm not going to waste time doing it as a ritual.
Okay. You successfully cast.
Okay.
The room that you're in is all kind of lightly aglow, but the door you stepped through and everything on the inside of it is like it's all kinds of fabulous right now. There is so much bling. So yeah, it's almost like a gradient. The strongest part of it being inside the door, but as it comes outward, like it's still enveloping the space that you're in, but it does not seem to be. I would say it's not attached, but the effects are lesser out here.
Okay. What school of magic is it?
Strong one. I should have looked at that.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna find it.
Or
in
just
Monster Manual.
make it up. What kind of magic does it look like?
It looks like. What would?
Looks like purple.
Yes,
Purple
it's
magic.
Purple drank. It's
The teleporting one.
yeah, the teleporting one. Would that be
No.
conjuration? Wouldn't work.
No.
Abjuration?
Abjuration.
No, teleporting is conjuration.
Is
Is
it?
it
Because
Okay.
you're conjuring something from
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
You're
so-
conjuring one thing and moving it to another place.
Okay,
Okay,
that kind of makes
yeah.
sense. So conjuration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What do I see from the other side? Anything?
Waterdeep.
Nothing happened.
Nope. Your friends disappeared.
With
Colleagues.
So with my primeval awareness, I don't know.
What does it look like through their door?
Through their door, that's an excellent question. It actually looks like a really, really beautiful, kind of spiry city, like very
Okay.
silvery.
So
very-
it does look like what the outside is supposed
Yeah.
to look like. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay.
So much like your windows, when you look from the outside, it looks like what it's supposed to.
Right.
So I'm gonna just kind of stand there and concentrate for about a minute.
Okay. The barkeep comes up to, may I help you, gentlemen?
How much time do we have before the thing wibbly wobblies?
I'd probably say like 10-ish minutes.
We may need your assistance shortly.
Of course. What can I do for you?
Well, my friend here must finish his work, but after that, I believe we will be ordering something. We'll let you know when we're ready.
Most excellent, of course. And she kind of walks back behind the bar and tends to a couple of people that are there.
So after about a minute of concentrating, I start to sort of get a sense for my my favorite enemies, which are humanoids. Can I sense the humanoids from our bar?
Yes.
Okay. And I can sense the ones in the bar I'm in.
Yes. There seems to be a weird overlap, though. Like, you can also get the sense that there are some moving outside of where you are actually physically that are kind of overlapping with the ones that you can kind of tell you're picking up a stronger presence from them on the inside of your bar.
Huh. Okay.
There's some overlapping dimensionality happening here.
Wonderful.
So how did Maria say that it worked? The bar always shows up where somebody needs a drink?
Mm-hmm.
I would say ask if anyone needs a drink, but we're already standing in a bar, so that's not
Yep.
going to be super helpful.
Yep. That's like I said, it's like the bar is looking for its outsides. Because it keeps
like
showing
that
up at other
lots.
bars.
I really like that a lot.
Hmm.
I don't know.
That it's.
something very, very magical is happening on that side of that doorway.
Like there are elven whispers occasionally behind you as people are trying to size up what the heck is going on over there.
Man, I really wish I'd taken Dispel Magic. Oh.
That would have made this so much shorter. Oh, problem solved. Let's go home,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, but I don't
Drinks
know if
all
I want
around.
to know. I don't want that thing to Wizard of Oz drop us out of nowhere.
Time's a waste.
What are you doing?
All right. Well, I have a theory. So when a ship can't travel in space, timey wimey wibbly lommy stuff. Basically, I'm looking for something out of place. Because if by my way of thinking, if something's out of place, then that means that's what's causing it. So if I put it back in its place, then everything will be back to normal. So I'm looking to see if I can find. I'm starting in the cellar, so I'm seeing if loose brick. I'm trying to find if anything is out of its place that shouldn't be there.
Brayden is looking for clues.
Yeah. Like, where is
Roll
that
me an
spike plug for the
investigation.
engine?
What are we?
I was saying, like, where's that spike plug for the engine? Meanwhile, I'm gonna look around the bar for anyone who looks like they're magical.
You're gonna do the same thing I was gonna do when I came back.
So with your 25, it's kind of an interesting thing. You go down into the cellar, and it looks like a pretty standard cellar. It's kind of fascinating, though, that it doesn't exactly match the upstairs. Like, a lot of stuff does, but the farther back into the cellar you get, the less it does. It starts looking kind of like it might belong to a different bar.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Do you?
I apparently have traveled between bars, and the cellar also switches as well. And I'll
Maybe.
head back.
Okay.
So I'm waiting till there's about 30 seconds left before the switch.
Okay.
Just so you know, on our side.
Okay.
Well, maybe
so,
maybe a minute. Maybe I'll give
How
myself a
long?
minute.
How long is it until switches usually?
Like 20-ish minutes, 20 minutes to half an hour.
I
something
still
like
have my
that.
bark skin on.
So there's just this tree person like hanging out downstairs, moving through the cellar. So yeah. So you return upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you are
I-
out talking.
Yes, I am looking specifically for people who might be magical.
There are several people that look like they might have some magical abilities. There are a couple of unconscious people that are in kind of up against the wall in the back, close to the fire, sort of huddled over, and it looks from their robes like they would be pretty magical. There are a couple of people playing games, and you can tell like you're looking over their shoulders so you can see the tricks that they're pulling, and they're conveniently disappearing different cards and changing them behind their backs and whatnot, counting on the fact that nobody is seeing them do so. So there are a couple of those sorts, kind of lower level things here and there.
Any of them look disgruntled?
Well, I mean, they're the ones passed out. But, yeah, they're the very drunk ones. I suppose they look as gruntled as a drunk person that's passed out looks. None of them look angry. None of the ones that are awake.
Okay. Come back to me. I need to get my phrasing right on what I want to do.
Okay. You guys, you get to the point, like, you kind of futz around and are trying to figure out what's going on. And you get to the point that you've just got a couple of minutes left.
Good. I I would like to go up to the bar. Yes, I've been sent here to order a cask of your finest elven wine for Lord Thorogrin for his party tonight.
Oh, most excellent. Roll me a deception.
Oh, most excellent lie.
Yeah.
I will be standing there nodding,
I'm rolling crap tonight, too.
rolling and nodding.
You can inspire
emphatically,
yourself.
So it considers.
Natural 20.
Nice!
Well, I got a 4, so
Wow.
yeah.
Nice.
She totally believes
I
you.
will take as much wine as she will give me and start ferrying it over to the other bar.
She kind of floats a very large cask down, and it is, you can tell, like the oak barrel and whatnot is just like perfect. Everything about it is perfect. There are elaborate designs up the side. Like, this thing's legit, and kind of floats it down. And how is he to be paid?
Lord Theron is sending his treasurer by to come up with the details, and I'm just going to start being like, he would like one of those, and just start ordering stuff like I'm ordering for this big party, and I keep handing it to you and telling you to go put it in our cart.
And yeah.
And I do this till there's maybe 15 seconds left, and I take the last one out myself, go over to the other bar, set it down, close the door, bar it, and wait.
And everybody roll me a con save.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, nat 20.
16.
14.
15.
Oh, 15. Okay. So all of you do pretty well with that one. A couple of you are a little bit harder hit than others, but most of you, like, you're still fine. You just, like, a couple of you get ever so slightly dizzy. So you're kind of steeled against that at this point, and you kind of hold yourself up against these big barrels as Maria is just like looking at you with the widest eyes.
Great, well, I've solved one of our problems.
Where did you get that?
It was a very generous donation from the other bar.
Which other bar was that? I should
I
have to
don't-
thank them.
Honestly, I have no idea.
We didn't catch the name of it.
Oh.
And then I'm going to take the really, really fancy, really, really nice one and keep that one for myself.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So you now have a.
Danny, we're in the Hag's what again?
The Hag's Master.
Hags Master.
Is there a man somewhere in this bar that has a very colorful coat?
Why, yes. Yes, there is.
I think we found the source. Oh no!
Ding, ding, ding.
Of course! There's no one else! There's no one else!
Well,
But I don't know
might
that.
not be 100% accurate.
Is he
Oh,
one of the
no.
guys passed out, or is he playing the game?
He is one of the guys passed out, yes.
Mm.
Great, so any progress on your end?
Not so much. Half of the magic men have passed out, and pretty much the other half are playing games. It doesn't look like anybody's, trying to be mischievous.
Yeah, and I went down and checked the cellar. I think the cellar is doing the same thing where half of it, oh, yeah. I think the cellar's doing the same thing where half of it's
Thank
doing
you
the
so
cellar for
much.
the opposite bar. I'm not sure, but I have to check when we do it again.
Right, we'll run down and check because we just switched.
Alright, I'll go
Yeah.
check and see if the other half of the cellar or whatever I saw had changed to another cellar.
Yes,
Oh.
it has. So, like, you are in familiar territory at first, and as you go back a little bit farther, you notice that it just kind of fades to sort of a rocky, instead of being kind of a dugout underground with the wooden walls,
Mhm.
like matches the front side of this. As you go farther back, it kind of fades into sort of a rocky landscape, sort of.
And I'll head back. So yeah, it changed. It's now a rocky exterior. It appears we are underground.
Or that part is.
Or that part
Yeah,
is.
door. Hold my head through sort of.
There's a very active bar scene there with a very jolly looking Goliath behind the bar. There are some you weren't in the no, okay. There are several different people. Everyone seems quite happy. It's a lively place. It's a real fun looking place to be. It kind of looks like, if you had to say, it sort of looks like it was almost built inside the interior of a huge tree, or it was built to look that way, almost like you were in a tree trunk. It's a real cool place.
Pull my head back in.
Well, I think it's time we start interrogating people. Because if it's not the bar, and if it's not anything else, it's got to be one of the patrons.
They haven't died yet, Stephen.
I agree with that. We could also get some more to drink.
Right. So the cellar that you saw on the other side, was it stocked?
It was kind of odd because, yes, it was, but it was also, like, you couldn't tell where her stock ended and the other stock began?
It's a bit iffy, but for the most part, I'm not sure.
That is one of the best answers. It's a bit iffy, but for the most part, I'm not sure.
Right, yeah, I mean, we could always do that. But,
As clear as mud. Yep.
I don't think we're about to run out of any bars to steal from.
True.
Just saying.
Talk to people, I guess.
Very well.
It's the only thing we haven't
Talk to
done.
more people. And like I said, half of them are passed out, the other half are playing games just to pass the time, and didn't really notice anything bad going on.
Who is the most suspicious looking person in the bar?
Well, there are the guys cheating at cards that are, like, magicking themselves good hands. There is also a really shady looking character, kind of roguish, with his
Hood.
thank you, pulled pretty far over his head, so that you can kind of not really see him. He's just been sitting back there, like, nursing his various glasses of stuff the whole time. Like, he hasn't really talked to anybody. Like, he's kind of the loner type. So as far as, like, suspicious, if you were normally looking for a suspicious character, those would probably be the ones that would throw up flags.
Have those guys who are playing cards been playing cards the whole time we've been here?
Nah.
No.
Nah. Off and on. They get bored. They play cards.
Anybody got any bright ideas? I'm officially out of them.
Go talk to him.
Sure, we'll go talk to them playing cards.
Okay. So there's one fellow with a very long white beard that has been he's fastened up in some nice little duds and appears to be a little bit of a tall, lean fellow. When you look behind the sprigs of hair, you can see that there are some little pointy ears, so kind of half-elfy. And he's been the one that you've been noticing the most, changing cards and things like that.
Oh, hello. Would you like to join our game, sirs?
How toasted is he?
I mean, he's aware enough to still be able to cast spells.
Just so happens,
Intentionally?
I got a deck of cards.
Oh my God.
Oh god. Oh, this is
No.
how it ends. This is how it ends.
Right, so you're all magic-y, you've been magicking the cards all night. Can you cast Dispel Magic?
Oh, Unfortunately, no, or I'd been out of here quite a long time ago.
All right. Well, why do you think the bar is all magicking all over the place?
Well, honestly, it's almost like the tavern got drunk and just started, I don't know, redirecting itself, but I'm not above capitalizing on my current situation.
Seems fair to me.
Roll me a perception check.
Who?
Anybody who happens to be paying attention to the surroundings.
Sure, why not? 19.
18. 24.
Ooh.
One shy of my natural 20.
2.
So you don't notice at all. Joke's on this guy because the bird in the room has been taking out everything that he's been winning from his satchel.
Of course.
So
I forgot he was there.
there's like a small lining of gold coin in his satchel, but most of it's just disappearing as quickly as he's putting it in. So yeah, he's not really making great gains here at
So
all.
make a note, bad investment for the company. We don't want to sell him a policy.
Doesn't even notice.
So with my 24, do I notice anything else that the bird has stashed away that might look somewhat magical?
Oh gosh. So
Yeah, all the stuff.
this bird is wearing a cloak, and as you kind of see him and like nip things out of this guy's satchel, or just kind of like lift him and start looking at him, every time he pulls his cloak kind of open, you see all kinds of stuff in there that he's keeping. So some of it looks magical. Really, the thing that it all has in common is that it's shiny. But nothing seems to be putting out the kind of... You wouldn't expect any of those things to be making the form that gave you such a headache when you casted Detect Magic.
Okay. Now, that shrewd individual, on the other hand, might be a good bet for needing insurance. Wait a second. I've seen Scritch before.
Oh,
I've
yes.
met Scritch before.
I have
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Steven.
Show me your cities! Yes.
That's right, I've met him too.
Yeah. So I recognize
Thank you for the bit.
So I recognize the Scritchy. I don't
Yes.
remember. Did I try to sell Scritch a policy before?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
That's right, because we were kind of put out with him
Yeah,
a little bit.
he might have annoyed you just a touch. But, like, there's this complete air of innocence about this guy. Like, and aside from which, right now, he's really funny.
True.
Because he's stealing from this guy who thinks that he's robbing everybody at the table blind. Still sucks for the other people at the table.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna try something that is stupid, but why not? I'm gonna go to the broom closet and close the door.
You are now back in the closet.
All right. I'm going to have a conversation with the actual bar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right then.
You know what? Inspiration.
Thank you. Hello, bar. So a lot of the patrons are kind of a bit tired. Everyone kind of wants to go home. I don't know whether you're sentient or not, but apparently I've been told that whenever someone who needs a drink is there, you come and provide for them. So I'm kind of wondering if you can help with this situation and stop the situation so then everyone can go home, sober up, so then they can return. Because eventually the booze is going to run out and everyone's going to just eventually die of alcohol poisoning. So, I mean, if you could kind of help us out here a bit, Bar, that would be quite helpful. Persuasion.
Sure.
Bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
You do have inspiration as well.
I'm going to take that. Oh, it's even worse. 12.
Oh.
So,
Creak. That's about it.
Yeah.
you get this feeling that if the bar were animate, it would be shaking its head right now because you were talking to an inanimate object.
When I don't look like a fuel, because I'm in a broom closet.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Yeah, the bar seems very uninclined to talk back.
Alright, so it's not the bar that's doing it, so it's got to be
Disinclined
something
to
else.
acquiesce to your request.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Means no.
Yes. Yes, you get nil. You get nil.
Alright. I'll exit the broom closet.
He's coming back out of the closet.
Yep.
Yep.
Because that's always fun.
And there's nobody else who really stands out in this bar in terms of like maybe we think that they're causing this problem, right? Like it's just a bunch of people coping with the fact that they've been trapped in the bar for a day.
Ish, yeah.
Is there anyone who doesn't fit that description?
There are people who definitely don't seem to fit in here. But, yeah, everybody seems to kind of be fitting that description except the drunk guys. Like the super hammered ones. You don't really know much about them because they're super
They're
hammered.
straight hammered.
I have heard tell. I've heard tell of a rod that you can't move. Do you know of what I'm speaking?
I do believe I knew what you're speaking about. I don't have one on me at the moment. It'd take me. I could attempt to make one. It would take considerable amounts of gold, and I would have to build the thing, which would take a couple of weeks. I'm probably looking about a
Yeah,
couple
we
of
don't have
weeks.
time.
I would also need the materials, which I don't have. So
Everybody roll me a perception.
oh god.
21.
21.
14.
8.
You three hear it. You don't. There is a sneeze from the back corner of the room. Make me a con save.
Oh, jeez.
There's a sneeze? Is there anyone there that we see?
Yes.
25.
17.
10.
16.
25.
Sorry, what was all of that?
10.
10,
25.
25,
17.
16.
16. Okay. So all of you except.
Oh no, not again.
Yep. Yep.
I'm getting used to it now.
Things begin to shift. Unfortunately, somebody walks in from the other door just as this is happening.
Oh no.
So now you've added one to your numbers. And everything is kind of shifting around. He falls flat on his face. You have to hold on to dear life for the bar, or the chair if you're around a chair. And yes, all of a sudden you're back, kind of upright, and everything's hunky dory again.
Did the watch go off that time?
No.
Well, that guy sneezed, and something happened.
Who's in the corner?
There are two drunken figures next to each other, bit passed out. One is in a strangely loud patchwork coat, and one is in a very elaborate, very nice kind of shroud of sorts, like golds, not embossing, that's the wrong thing, embroidery around the collar, and the collar goes all the way down. Very, very much looks ceremonial, older fellow. Both just seem quite plastered.
Let's go talk to him.
I mean, there's only option at this point.
Well, the other
Everyone
option-
else heard him sneeze, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So are we thinking that?
The other option would
Which
be
one,
to go through the pockets of people passed out, see if there's anything useful.
That's a good plan B. We're gonna walk over to the people in the corner.
They are out. They're quite unconscious.
Maria,
Yes, love.
what do you use to wake up your patrons when they won't leave the bar and you want them to leave?
Oh, you want me to?
Oh, well,
I
I
could.
got some
I've got
smelling salts,
something.
and we also have George. So if they could just
I've
too
got
difficult.
something for that. If you want
What?
me to
Oh.
use it. Oh, I'll pull out my horn of silent alarm, and I'll target the ceremonial one, and I'll blow.
So what does that do?
Allow me to read you the description.
I was going to cast Witch Bolt, but hey.
Please hold while I attempt to remember what this thing does. Oh, I believe it does what I believe it does. I went
I
too
like
far.
warlocks.
Warlocks are a lot of fun.
And everything is, right now, everything
Let's
is
see.
cast at third level.
Horn of silent alarm. This horn has 4 charges. When you use an action to blow it, one creature of your choice can hear the horn's blare, providing the creature is within 600 feet of the horn and is not deafened. Nor the creature hears sound coming from the horn. The horn regains 1d4 extended charges daily at dawn.
Alrighty then.
So it just wakes him up.
Yeah, but no one else hears it. Just
Ah.
that guy.
So he starts quite heavily, and as he kind of bursts into an upward position, and out of the blue, about 5 flumps take shape.
Ew.
Right, I think we found the problem.
Which one's this one?
So this one's the very ceremonial one.
Okay.
Yes. So he's very drunkenly sort of searching his surroundings with his hands.
Oh dear. Oh my. Oh. Let me.
Anyone know
Right,
how
Right,
to-
Maria, we're gonna need those smelling salts and a lot of cold water.
I'm on it, love.
Oh, you need cold water? I'll pull out my decanter of empty water.
Yes.
I'm just gonna take it from you, and I'm just gonna. Right on top of the guy.
600 gallons.
Oh!
And I'm just
Actually,
gonna
hold on.
keep
I
going,
need to
and
do this.
periodically stop and be like, I'll stop and see if he's more conscious. There you go again. And then stop.
Who are you?
Right, do you think that was enough or more?
Give me
Once
one.
more.
One more.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
about
yeah,
5
yeah.
gallons every time.
Always odd numbers.
Oh goodness. What?
Right, so you have allergies or something.
Can I have my decanter back? Thank you.
Well, I mean, I've been known to have a sneezing fit or two.
Right, we all noticed because you've been moving the bar around!
What?
Yeah?
You sneeze, magic stuff happens, yes?
Like these flumps that you just magicked out of the air?
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
Now, where did you fellows come from now?
The flumps don't talk, but you can kind of see him getting some telepathic messages.
Oh dear. Well, this is unusual.
Right, everyone's been trapped in this bar for about, a day.
Well, why have they been trapped in the bar? That makes no sense.
So it still looks like water deep, right?
Yes.
That's it. I'm gonna stick my hand out the window.
The hand reaches back.
Well, now that's different. I haven't seen that before.
Right, well, let's make it disappear so we don't have to see it ever again.
Now let me think.
You have exactly 15 seconds to decide.
But I have to.
Hold on.
I
Before we
not...
go threatening people, we should at least get their names. And you are?
Well,
Something
I'm
like
Sibidirk.
Pardon?
Gesundheit.
No, that's my name, Sibidirk Morninigan.
And again, Gesundheit. I'm Jonathan Goldpiece. My compatriots here and I represent Intrepid Insurance. Yes, that's the one. And we've been trying to figure out what's going on here.
Right,
And
so
apparently you're going on.
So now he has 15 seconds
To do what exactly?
to fix whatever sort of magic it is that you've done everywhere.
I have to figure out what kind of magic I've done everywhere. I've been on a solid bender for better part of 24 hours now.
And why would that be, by the by?
Had a really, really rough day.
So you don't
Haven't
wanna
we
leave.
all?
But I met
Wait.
a charming man. Oh, this one slumped next to me. He's a very interesting fellow.
Right, we're gonna need that decanter again.
Wait. So you're saying you don't want to leave?
Oh, I don't mind the idea of leaving. I certainly didn't mean to keep
Yeah.
everybody here.
What do you think will happen if we just push him out into another bar the
And
next
I'm
time we
going
switch?
to splash the water on the other
Does it
one.
just become their problem then?
You see him.
Well, it is magic. Probably needs to undo it
Wakey
first.
wakey.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Just another one of those beans.
Always an odd number.
God, why?
There you go.
There you go.
If you would like to stand in his Roldan as well, you're more than
Okay,
welcome to.
that's fine.
Alright, so someone unmagic the bar so everyone can go home.
What do you mean on magic? This is Roland. What do you mean on magic the bar?
Stick my hand through the window.
And it comes back in.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Lad,
Try throwing a knife.
I believe I have a theory. I think maybe me next to you. Probably not the best idea if we're both drunk.
Well, we weren't planning on getting drunk at the same time. I mean, we just passed out. Same.
Yes. I feel as though this is a connection that might not be the most healthy.
Right, so
when
if they don't fix
drunk.
this in the next 30 seconds, I vote that we send them the invoice for all the drinks everyone's been drinking since they
Lad,
fell
Do
asleep.
you happen to have dispel
yes, that's a
magic?
good
I
idea.
I really no.
You know,
Got counter spell.
that might be. That's
Why
a
do I
darn
have
good
Phantom
start.
Steed? That's a weird one. I'm
It's-
through a bug.
It's a darn good start. Let's start with the counter spell and go from there. Oh wait! I just remembered. I can dispel magic. Oh, thank you, 3 stone. I appreciate your support.
Let's see. I've got. I've got potion green. Spelled invisibility wrong on mine. Let's see.
It's okay. He's
Magic
like a level 20.
8
I'm sure
ball.
he can dispel this. He's just
Who?
not aware that he can't yet.
You.
Oh, Roland's level 6.
Yeah, Morninigan is a level 20.
Okay, give me a moment to collect my brain here. Last I remember, I was having a conversation with this lad and I passed out, and then all I saw was
Consider
like
that a hell
these
of a
special
conversation.
colors. I had some really, really excellent dreams about places I've been before. It was quite lovely. But
What-
anyway,
What places
Rain.
have you been before?
Probably a lot of bars.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Was one of those bars full of ogres?
Yes, that was a difficult day. Had to blast my way out of that one. That was not well received. It just that was a
Do you
less
have that
pleasant part of
barrel?
the dream.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold up a barrel.
That's delicious stuff. That is.
Right, we're definitely sending him the invoice.
Yeah.
So the invoice. Wait. What invoice?
I believe you owe everybody here some drinks for the time they had to spend here on your behalf.
All the time they've had to spend here. They've been in a bar. It's time well spent.
We literally couldn't leave.
This fine gentleman here, and I'm going to reach over to the guy with the snails. This guy is going to be late getting home to his wife.
Frankly, we're actually being pretty easy
Yeah,
on
he
you,
did.
just sending you the invoice. I mean, really, as insurance agents, we can inform you of exactly how liable you are under our policy.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you're looking at a long time in court, my friend.
So, an invoice seems.
Right, so fix it. We'll send you the invoice and we go home.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm on it. he mutters some words and starts kind of.
Joint spellcasting.
He starts shifting some things around in his hand and his spell components, and you start to kind of see the walls fade. All of the people stay, but now you're somehow back in the elven place. Oh dear, that's not right. Oh, that's not
Oh,
right.
that's not good for us.
Just give me a minute. I'm still waking up, I'm afraid. Okay. All of the elves in the bar look incredibly confused.
Years in court.
I'm operating here.
Nothing to see here. Go about your business.
Not the droids you're looking for.
You don't got lesser restoration.
The automaton in the corner, when you say not the droids you're looking for, gets very nervous looking. Okay, let's try this again. And slowly it turns into the bar with the Goliath bartender, and everybody gets very hushed in a hurry.
So really,
Strike two.
yeah, no. So really fast while I'm here. Right. So everyone whose stop is this. Here's where you get off.
The halfling who had stumbled in before was like, "Thank God!" and just like bolts kind of into the corner of the room, hoping that as things change, he won't be with it. The Goliath barkeep kind of looks over and is like, "What's all this then?"
Nothing to see.
Drunk spell casting.
Oh.
I'm gonna look at the old man and be like, do the phrases Title IX and bankruptcy mean
God.
anything to you?
No. Okay. He kind of sputters some different spells out here and there, and slowly everything comes back into focus, and you're back at the Hag's Master. And he kind of looks around. I think that did it.
I'm gonna stick
Maybe?
my arm out the
I
window.
believe.
Are we falling?
It's actually a window. You actually stick your hand out of it.
Right. Well.
So I'm going to grab the knife and I'm going to throw it out the window.
Because, things
'Cause
have
why
a
not?
full circle like
Of
that.
course.
Ugh. I'm so sorry for the trouble that I've caused you. That's most unfortunate. The gnome comes from behind the counter with murder in her eyes.
And that's time ours to leave.
Right, so Maria, this fine gentleman, in exchange for all the hard work that we've had to put in to get back, has agreed to pay for the invoice for all the alcohol that was used over this little adventure we just had.
Oh, has he now?
Right, so why don't
Yes.
you just write up a list of all the supplies you went through,
Oh.
and we'll make sure it gets
It'll be
sent to him.
quite a list. I believe that unless you're a very wealthy man, you're going to be scrubbing dishes in the back for George for years.
Roland goes like this, smacks his hand together, teleports out.
Roll me your wild magic. I have to find the chart now.
So Maria, don't
He's
forget.
good. He's good.
He's good?
He didn't blow up.
Okay, didn't blow up.
Yeah, don't forget your time and labor as well.
Right, make sure you factor all that in.
Oh, yes, there was much time and much labor. I haven't slept in over 24 hours. Do you know what that does to a woman's mind?
She seriously looks
Mind
like
spike?
if she had that knife you just threw out the window. This old man.
Oh, it's time to leave. Let's go.
She just kind of grabs
Or do we
him
even
by
let's
the collar
let's get out of here
and
before
starts walking to
murder.
the kitchen with him and just drags him in a feat of strangely unknomish strength.
Right. So, Miss Maria, we will be heading back to the office. We'll let Miss Grace know that everything's worked out, and yeah.
Well, thank you for your consideration and for your stopping by. I know that since there wasn't any damage done officially, you didn't necessarily have to come, but I do appreciate it all the same.
Right, I think this was well worth our trip, and I'm going to pick up my cask of wine.
Oh, also thank you for that. Like, that's some pricey top shelf
Anytime.
that you brought me.
Anytime.
I do appreciate that very much. You lot are welcome here anytime. Just maybe don't stab me other customers next time.
The halfling that you threw the knife at accidentally kind of looks over his shoulder and grumbles.
Since you figured it all out, I suppose I'll let this one slide.
So he kind of turns back around and has one more shot before walking out the door. The man with the snails is like sobbing and just bolts. Love, I'm coming! Come on, lads! We're gonna make it! He says to the bag of snails.
I don't know why, but I hope he doesn't make it.
I just see him tripping at the end of his own stoop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crushing
Seems
a
like
bunch
there's
of
song
snails.
about that. Yes. The man runs out, and you can see him just hightailing it as far as he can. Many other people follow. A few people stagger out the door. There are a couple of people that are still kind of asleep in the back corner. Maria's kind of tired expression seems to brighten a little bit with the fact that she can finally sleep some. She hangs a temporarily closed sign on the door up front and just like douses the fire. Everybody out! And
Right, I think that's
To the broom closet.
To the broom closet.
to the broom closet, yes.
Right, so do we have to wait until this thing actually wakes up now?
No, you just press this rune.
To your surprise, it works.
Mel, let's
I'm a
go.
very smart man.
After
Worked
you.
out for you this time.
do. I go first.
Yeah.
And everybody roll me cons.
Oh. That's a 4.
24.
Oh, nice.
19.
Nice.
12.
Okay. You aren't too happy about it, but you don't upchuck.
I got a 4. Mel got 13.
You guys spaghettify through the little teleportation wormhole and end up dumping out at this Reaper-looking guy's feet, where you promptly throw up all over him. The shroud just drops.
It's the 7th time this week.
Sorry about that, Gerald.
I feel like eventually we're going to need to invest in some better form of transportation.
Maybe you just should invest in a better form of being able to handle it, you pansies.
I made it.
With the pansies, he just like looks at you.
Blah.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took me to sew this? Goodness.
He's very Marvin-ish from
Well, wherever that show is.
that thing. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I kept trying to say Guardians of the Galaxy, but it didn't work.
The other one.
Yes.
No, well, I can clean you off if you want to catch up in this water.
Like a fire hose.
Fire hose.
Gee, thanks.
Hey, it worked, didn't it?
Sure.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception 3. A nat 20?
You're missing something.
Oh no. Oh no.
Mel has been left behind.
Mel!
Bum, bum, bum.
Mel!
Who?
My doll.
Oh.
Oh, thank God that creepy doll is not here anymore.
Right, it's okay.
Well-
He's gone to a better place.
getting drunk off his ass.
He's at a tavern, so I'm not too worried.
He's at a tavern.
You can hear the of Miss Grace kind of coming out the door and walking her way towards you.
Oh,
You four, how did it go?
fine.
Excellent. The new guy didn't die. I appreciate all of your hard work.
Die?
To make sure that didn't happen.
It's
I've been
happened.
waiting for him to go for the past 5.
Don't worry, you weren't wearing a red shirt, so you're fine.
Interns have quite the mortality rate around here.
Oh. Will
Things
I
happen.
survive?
Things happen. But you're good.
Right, but if you survive your first 3, you get dental.
That's true. It's true.
I've got to do 2 more. That wasn't too bad. It's not like we fought anything particularly
That might have been
bad.
the most mild one I've ever had.
Yeah, yeah, actually.
Nothing
I
tried to
didn't
kill
fall
us that
down.
time.
Oh, you managed
Well,
to
it got
actually.
close with the ogre.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Once
Yeah.
we settled him down, we were
Yeah.
okay.
You had some various opportunities to get into that kind of trouble, and you managed.
I
to
seriously
not take
thought
them.
about it.
Yeah, I'm amazed that there wasn't combat initiated somewhere in there.
I'm amazed that Scritch didn't steal a certain deck of cards.
It's not shiny.
Oh.
That's right.
He doesn't care if it's not shiny.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm also impressed that you didn't destroy the world with the deck of many things. Why did he give you that?
Why did you give me that?
That's such a silly thing. Such a silly thing. Well, you guys, that is a convenient kind of closing spot for this one. Hopefully everybody had fun, even though there wasn't like stabbery. Well, I guess there was kind of
There was a little
stabbery.
bit of stabbery.
A little bit of stabbery accidentally.
Inadvertent stabbery.
Accidental stabbery is
Yes.
always the best kind of stab.
Absolutely.
Accidental stabbery happened, so that was fun. Yes, drunken magicians are a problem.
Yeah.
I consider this a win all around. I've got a cask of fine elven wine.
Yes, you do.
This is
Yes, you do, and a collection of staplers and other office supplies. So,
this is a good day.
hey, it is a good day. It's a good day. So I'm gonna let Cactus take back over here for the closeout.
Well, I can do that from over here.
Oh,
so I'm
okay,
just
never mind.
posting links to the YouTube channel and to our Discord. The YouTube channel will have all of our various misadventures, both the main storyline with the Glassbreakers Guild that we typically run on Tuesday nights at this time, and the one-shots that we're doing here while Stephen and Nat are recovering from the recent addition to their little family. So check those out. We've got a lot of different things that are going up on the YouTube channel. The Discord server, put a link to that as well. The Hags Master that featured prominently in tonight's episode is our little in-game area there on the Discord server. We also use the Discord server to give you guys announcements and sort of keep you guys up to date on what's happening with this channel as well as with Danny's and Kyrie's. The word just left my brain and my tongue. They're creative streams, yes. So Kyrie's creative stream, which is Griffin XX Demon, and Danny's, which is Lord Scritch the Goodly. They both do arts and craftsy type creative stuff.
Yes, I intend on getting back into that in the next couple of weeks. I had to take a break for personal life stuff.
So join us in both of those places on the YouTube and on the Discord and have a lot of fun. We love having you guys around. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a glass house.
Woo!
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Alright.
Mhm.